All right, back to it. We were talking about the finals last night, Game 6. Pacers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, Game 7 on Sunday. But one of the things that I want to talk about, want to hear what Kings fans think too, because I think there's an interesting debate, team building debate going on, which direction you want to see the Kings go. Do you want to see them tear it down, start over, accumulate draft picks, clear the cap space, use the cap space to get draft picks, tank more or less? You know, give yourself a long runway of trying to fix this thing. Or do you continue to go all in on this current roster, fight for another 9th seed, play in?
Yeah.
And look, where I stand right now, looking at the 2 teams that are in the finals, how did they get there? How did they build their teams? Couple of smart trades for the Pacers, obviously traded for Tyrese, traded for Pascal once they thought this team was close enough. They built their team through the draft. You know, Miles Turner's been there 10 years, but still originally drafted by the Pacers.
Nemhard.
Right. TJ McConnell. Nemhard. I mean, what is this? His 3rd year?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry,
Matherin. Shepard,
yeah. Ben Shepard. Big
again, another trade. Obi Toppin, who's been huge.
Obi Toppin, yeah.
But that was a big one as well. OKC, obviously, we know that this team is, besides Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, who were both offseason signings this last year, all through the draft.
Yeah.
All draft picks. And we know, I mean, as annoying as it's been, Sam Presti does an amazing job, but just hearing about the draft picks all the time.
They still got more.
They still have I
think they can legally field another basketball team with the amount of picks they have in the next 3 years.
Yes.
Like a full 12 picks.
And so, round. But one of the things is you have to get the picks right, and there have been a lot of misses, but when you have as many picks as you do,
Pokuševski,
you know, Usman Jang.
Yeah. Hey,
he's still on the team.
Yeah,
shout out Usman.
They still got Topic coming in.
Yes, they do have Nikola Topic. Yeah, good call.
So where do you stand, Kings fans? I want to know. Hit us up. Chris, I want to know where you stand as a Kings fan. Would you rather see them tear it down or see them go all in, continue to fight for you know, I don't want to be a hater, but like the results are the results. Another play-in, basically.
No, I know, and I think you're going to find this interesting. That I feel like you have to phrase it correctly too, because I think the T word, the tank word, isn't one that Kings fans want to hear. But the spirit of what the tank symbolizes is what I believe is best for the Kings. Like, I'm not saying they need to bottom out. I'm not saying they need to try and lose as many games as humanly possible next year. But if the alternative is, to your point, running it back and trying to see if you can fight for a 9 seed, I just don't really see the long-term value in that. Like, I think that Domantas Sabonis is entering his 30s in his prime. And, I think we kind of see where he's at in terms of like the hierarchy of NBA players and how good can your team be if he's your best player. It just, to me, feels like the Kings don't really, and I think the bigger problem is that would be an okay path if maybe we could say, well, let's play the waiting game and there'll be a star that pops up eventually, right? Like there'll be a Kevin Durant, there'll be a Paul George, a Zion, those kind of guys. But I don't know if the Kings have the assets to get those guys. And I think that's really the problem. I don't even think it's really a talent conversation. To me, it's more of an asset conversation. And I don't think the Kings, as currently constructed, have enough assets, to your OKC point, to win a title. I don't think they have enough assets to get the talent in here that would be a title winning team, unless they pull an OKC and get a surprise SGA MVP out of a trade that they were just hoping to, I think it was part of their rebuild and they were trying to, just salary dump, get Chris Paul over here. And SGA came along. And so I think, for me, long-winded way of saying, I think the Kings' best path forward, not just next year, but for the next 5 years, which is really where I think the Kings' timeline should be. I don't even think they should be concerned with the next 3 years of success. Be concerned about Keegan's timeline, develop Keegan Murray, see how good he is. I'm not saying Keegan's going to be your new star, but I think you have to have an answer on what is this guy? Like, what is he going to be as a pro? Is he going to be a 40% 3-point shooter? Is he just going to be, and when I say just, I don't mean, I don't mean to diminish it, but is he just going to be the best defender or the second best wing defender on the team, and he can give you 36, 37%? What exactly, can he ball handle? Can he, there's so much more that we just don't know about Keegan Murray, which is kind of crazy entering his, third year, I think, for fourth year. Oh my God. Entering his fourth year in the league. There's just so much that we don't know that I think we need to know about Keegan. That should be priority number one. Retaining guys like Keon Ellis, I think, is absolutely paramount. I think Jake LaRavia is somebody, to me, like if I'm running the Kings, he's somebody I just want to have on the squad. He's somebody who's super versatile. And he kind of talked about yesterday in an interview about his fit here in Sacramento. And then Devin Carter, right? Like, you have to know. I've heard a lot of people just want to give up on Devin Carter, and I just don't think at this point that makes sense. Like, I think if he's an NBA player, I feel like it wouldn't make sense for you to ship him off to another team to go be an NBA player. To me, you ship off Devin Carter if you don't see anything there. If you can get a plus asset in return for him, which I just don't see you getting right now because nobody has seen him play. Really.
Yeah, you haven't seen him play. He's not an asset at the moment. I mean, look, there's the potential of, other teams that might have liked him in the draft,
right?
But you're not going to get a first round pick back or anything. And you said, can they get the talent to win a title? How about win a playoff series? No,
I think that's an interesting point too, is like, what is success for this team? Not to get too philosophical, but
let's do it.
I've been reading, I've been reading John Wooden's book of success, the pyramid of success. Yep. He says, look, don't worry about everyone around you. Focus on yourself. Like what? So, and when I read that, I did seriously think, okay, well, let's stop saying championship is the what success is for the Kings, because it's not like that. That is not in this team's vocabulary right now. So what is success for this current group of Kings players? I think last year you can even say, and it's funny because Giannis got killed for having this conversation a couple years back of what is success? What is success? Am I successful for doing all of these things? Just because I lose in the first round, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm not successful. Mm-hmm. I think what made last season not successful for the Kings was there was a level of expectation of this team should be not even thinking about the play-in, and obviously making the 9 seed and losing in the first round of the play-in was not successful. To me, if we're kind of doing it on a scale, I think success for the Kings next season is just kind of like what Scott Perry said, which I think is a great answer, great to hear from your GM. It's just kind of finding an identity, right? Like, it's not even really a numbers game. It's not a seeding. It's nothing like that. It's going out of next season feeling like, I know who we are, and I know the pieces that would fit well around that. I think right now we just have a collection of players, right? Yeah. It's DeMar DeRozan, it's Levine, it's Sabonis, it's Malik Monk, it's Keegan. Like, how do those puzzle pieces fit together? I don't think we ever saw them fit together. So how do you get a team that you at least can look at the box and say, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be building? Now it's just about putting the pieces together.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's a great question, though. What is success to this team? Is it?
I have no idea.
Just getting to the playoffs, getting past the play-in, winning a playoff series would be great.
Crazy enough, like, depending on what they do with their personnel, it could just be like not being last in the West. Yeah. I think I heard Alan say earlier this morning, it's a good point. Who in the West is like actively not trying to win games next year? I think it's Utah.
That's it.
And I don't even know if they're like actively trying to
say maybe New Orleans based on what they do.
Based off of what they do, right? Because like even a team like the Blazers, they're trying to be competitive. Yeah. Right? Yeah, like the Spurs obviously trying to be competitive. Definitely. Even Utah, I would argue, is probably still trying to be competitive in some sense. They just don't have the talent to do it.
Well, they basically sat Markkanen down for a second season. So, I mean, hopefully they either move him or try and actually win.
They can't really trade him anymore. Yeah. That's a terrible contract.
I don't know. There's some bad contracts out there. Jimmy Butler. By the way, we're going to talk about coming up next. I want to continue on this Kings talk, get a little more specific, talk about some of these contracts, because I think they should tear it down. But the problem is some of these contracts are kind of untradeable. That's coming up next here on the Allen Style Show.
The Giant Summer Sale is